Hey everybody. Hey Dark. We are gonna pick up where we left off with skills. We got done with 4 classes, 2 of which were Wednesday and 2 of which were today. So now we have 3 classes left. And I don't think anything's gonna be too difficult out of this. Although we do have some rebalancing we need to do as well. So anyway, let's get to it. Hey Kevin. So improved Holy Link and take an extra X% damage from allies and raise fortitude by Y. So we're going to call this improved Holy Link. All right. It doesn't really matter what we take this from, right? Could just be resonance. Yeah. Okay. The icon, I think I closed that, but we can just open it again. I'm glad I did this. Crossed chains. Crossed chains. Okay. Improved Holy Link. Tooltip. Going to be based on what we said here. Links you to your allies, causing some % of damage to take to be transferred to you. Improve Holy Link name. Transferring an extra, what do we call this? Bonus % or like % damage bonus, transfer bonus, % damage transfer bonus. Yeah. All right, causing that, transferring extra, let's say 5% damage from allies when they take damage. Also increases your fortitude by fortitude buff. I should really say what that's equivalent to in terms of % fortitude reduction or % damage reduction. I think the tooltip can say that, it just doesn't. And I don't know if we have that written anywhere. No, yeah, I don't think we have this written anywhere. Is this seriously not on my radar? Add tooltip for stats. Yeah, we need to do that. Okay, but if we're going to do that, then we might as well just do that now, I guess. Yeah, we might as well do this now. Also, this has mostly been done already. I am going to bump all of this stuff up to the top. Fix this. Okay, how about we go fix that now? So I'll just, well, I guess. Sorry, I'll just get stash this, yeah. So stash pop after that. Yeah, let's go fix this issue. I guess we don't really need to stash pop anything. Okay, so where's that tooltip show up? It's in the battle screen. No, skill tree. And it should be right there. How much fortitude this adventurer has. The higher the fortitude value, the less damage this adventurer will take. Okay, we need to change that dynamically though. Character fortitude. So here's the label. We need to get the tooltip. And we could make this unique. We could just call it like fortitude tooltip and then set the text on that. I think let's do that. Fortitude tooltip. Okay, which means we need to go fetch that. That is going to be a tooltip on parent. Fortitude tooltip. Tooltip on parent. All right, so now I want to set this to something. Do we have a text? Yeah, we do. All right, so let's set this to, this is a test, and then just put a colon here and add this in. I just want to see if this works. Obviously, this isn't the task. I'm not sure we can even change the text on this dynamically. I don't see why we couldn't though. Error. ability ID doesn't have a definition for it. Wait, why is it even compiling this? I should have, we should have stashed this. Okay, let's just stash pop now. And let's just have this return something very basic, I guess. Or just code these in. Public const float. So what do we need here? Percent damage transfer bonus. And I said that should be like 5%. I think that's pretty reasonable. And then the fortitude buff should be... Actually, 50 is super powerful. maybe 25. I'm not totally sure. And even that, we'll have to think about how we're doing this. All right, so we don't need that there anymore. We need the name of the ability. String, holy link name. Cool. Now, why is this a problem? Shouldn't all this be fixed? I'll just press F5, see what happens. I think it's spurious. Yeah, it is. Okay, so all we've done is we have seen this. This is a test : 0, and when we train, oh, that's not going to do anything. When we go to the warrior, it says this has 50. Perfect. So we have a way of dynamically changing these tooltips. Now let's go pull the tooltip data out of the actual scene and put it into the code. So we're going to put this here. Hey, guest. So how much fortitude this adventurer has. My idea for this, oh, hey, Glasgow. Adam wears a hoodie so he doesn't have to turn on the heat. Selling merch is a bonus while his wife is freezing. No, she gets a hoodie too. Yeah, I am actually pretty cold right now. But this hoodie should warm me up. The love of the Skeleseller community will keep me warm at night. Thanks for the reset, Glasgow. So fortitude 50, we put minus some amount of percent damage taken. I don't know where we write that though. Yeah, I don't know how we write this. Yeah, there is a Skeleseller hoodie. I'm very happy with it. I need to, at some point, write the percentage that this changes it by. And I guess we need to search for 500 here so that we figure out what 100% fortitude looks like. Public const float max fortitude. No, this is kind of dumb. We should just put it in stat computations. Public static float get damage mitigation percent from fortitude. Float fortitude. And that's it. Get damage mitigation percent for fortitude. All right, so we're going to need to do that inside here somewhere. I still don't know what, if we just had the number already, not even how do we get the variable? How do we just phrase this tooltip? How much fortitude this adventurer has. The higher the fortitude value, the less damage this adventurer take. And maybe we write something like this. 50 fortitude reduces incoming damage by, and then we write the percent here. So I guess stat computations dot get bsc dot fortitude. Let's see what that looks like in context. Oh, it can't be P0. It's got to be like P1 or something. So it says 10.2%. Actually, I probably don't care too much, do I? Let's take a look. Unlock all adventurers. So we hover over this. It says 5 fortitude reduces incoming damage by 1%. So if I train this, now it says 2%. Train it again, 3%. I guess we're always raising it by 5. So it's eventually 10%. Okay, this is way too verbose. Mitigates X% of the damage. Yeah. Reduces incoming damage. Reduces damage taken by this percent. Yeah, perfect. Okay, which means that the other tooltip should probably change as well. This isn't even true. Yeah. How much health this adventurer has. How much power this adventurer has. So I guess this one should say how much fortitude this adventurer has. Reduces damage taken by... Yeah. Yeah, there's some wordsmithing that always needs to happen with this stuff. How much fortitude this adventurer has. Reduces damage taken by 10%. Yeah. Kind of want to say something like 50 fortitude reduces damage taken by 0%. No, I think this is fine. Yeah, whatever. This is fine. So let's do that. So now I think we check in this. What? The anchor changed. What? I didn't touch the anchor on this. Left wide. Maybe it figured out that it should have changed to that. I don't particularly care, I guess, as long as it looks fine in the game, and I think it did. Yeah, I mean, well, we need to still change it a little bit, but yeah, it seems to look fine. So I guess we'll leave that as is. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Say how much it changes by. How much fortitude this has. Each point reduces damage taken by... So we put P1. Total reduction with BSC.fortitude. Okay, this might look a little bit better. Let's try that. Hey, OCD. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. All right, this. Yeah, so how much fortitude this adventurer has. Each point reduces damage taken by 0.2%. Total reduction with 0%. That looks a little strange. I think if I wrote fortitude right before that, it would look fine, though. There. Now I think it's going to look good. So you're building some awesome stuff. Thanks. What have you been up to? I think last time I saw you was during the Adam Learns days, probably toward the end of that, or maybe during the Google days. I don't remember. I'm going to sidetrack you, ask if you have thoughts on my messaging keyboards. Sure, I'll take a look really fast. Been thinking of tinkering with the new keyboard. Currently have a Microsoft Sculpt I like a lot. Any recommendations without breaking the bank and getting overwhelmed? So I think it depends on what you're looking for. Kevin just asked about a Keychron keyboard. I think Keychron is a pretty good way to like get into mechanical keyboards without spending a ton. But if you're talking about split keyboards, I'd say to not break the bank, you need to build one yourself. And building isn't tough. I think the difficulty comes from two parts. One, sourcing all of the materials, and then two is soldering. And that's it. Those are the difficulties. I mean, everything other than that is like, snap some switches onto the keyboard, put some keycaps on those switches. But these things can be tough because a lot of times shipping times are high, even if the costs are low. And then soldering is just, I mean, if you've ever soldered before, you either know that you like it or you don't like it. And there's no making it easier if you don't like it. So yeah, so are you looking for anything in particular? Do a lot of soldering for model railroading? That sounds intense. It's not too bad. Also, it depends on the kind of keyboard you get. Maybe all you need to solder would be switches. Switches are super easy to solder. The things that are hard to solder are LEDs and diodes. Those are really tiny. But you don't even need LEDs on a keyboard. If you're not interested in getting those, and all you need to solder are maybe diodes, and even then you might not need those. And switches, you could, but not switches, sorry, the sockets for the switches. so that you can have hot swap switches. But anyway, if you want to avoid all that, then yeah, just get a pre-built one. And like I said, I think Keychron has some pretty good stuff. I'd prefer split. How much would that cost if not do it yourself? Apparently Keychron has a... This is $200. There's also this keyboard, which I don't know if this is ever assembled for you. This is the PCB. Here's a pre-built one. Okay, so this is slightly cheaper. This isn't split exactly in the same way that mine is split. Oh, sorry, this is the... I don't know how that price rose. How did that price rise? That's not what it looked like over here. It said from 167. Oh, because you need to select some of these options? Okay. Yeah, I guess if you got it without switches or something. Yeah, it looks like you're probably looking at about $200 for a split keyboard. And remember, these are split in the way that you just like cut a keyboard in half kind of split, right? This is split in a way that is a very just different style of keyboard. The one that I use, I mean. So anyway, up to you. And then I use a Korn. If you want to look into that, you could look up like a pre-built Korn. I don't think they're cheap. That's actually not too bad. Does this come with switches? Oh, and it's wireless? Wait, what? And it's got a case? No, it does not come with switches. No display, switches. Yeah, so if you had switches and keycaps, and I guess let's put a plate and a bottom plate. Yeah, it's like $340. Okay, so not cheap. And if you're going to go at that level, I would say ZSA Voyager is probably your best bet anyway. This is like a Korn, but it's got more keys on the main part and fewer thumb keys. But this is, I think, $360. How much is this? $365. $1 for every day of the year. Yeah. We talked about that. If you want to build it yourself, you totally could for way cheaper, but then you need to build it yourself. So it all depends on what you want. But yeah, I'd say look at any of these things and then really think about how many keys you might want. So for example, this keyboard is like mine, but just has more keys altogether. But otherwise looks pretty much the same, right? So do you need that many keys? Like maybe, maybe not. I have on my keyboard 36 keys. And I think that's fine, but what I would really like to have is 36 keys and one encoder for volume. You just can't beat encoders for volume. They're just so cool. And this has 2 of them. I don't know what I would use a second one for. Maybe scrolling, but yeah, just having one at least is awesome. So if you have the choice between, let's say somehow like keyboard X and it costs, let's say, I don't know, $200, and keyboard X plus an encoder, and let's say it's $205, by far go for this one. You will not regret it. If it costs somehow $50 extra or it's a totally different keyboard, then yeah, don't get it. But get encoders. They're awesome. You're talking about the meta keys. The encoder is the little dial there. That's what you can turn, and you can usually press it in. So it could be like volume when you turn right, volume up, volume left when you turn left, and then press in for pause play. That is super helpful. Annoying thing is not being able to find the low profile key switches. I got those on AliExpress for myself. I think I have the link somewhere. Oh, right. But when you said how many keys you want, how many keys you want is just literally how many keys you see here. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are here. I don't have those on my keyboard. So for me to type number keys, I need to enter a layer. If you want dedicated number keys, you'll need an extra row at the top. If you want dedicated shift or control or something, you'll probably need some rows here or some extra keys there or here or something like that. And I don't think going fewer than 36 keys is a smart move. Let me just say that. You could always get something like the artsy keyboard and go nuts here and have 8 keys. But this is a very bad decision. Unless you need to use something like this for accessibility reasons. I know, totally fine, him too. Yeah. Okay, so right before this, Kevin had said maybe current X%. How much fortitude this adventure has. Each point reduces damage taken by maybe current reduction with this much fortitude. Yeah, okay, I think that's probably pretty good. Hard pass. Oh yeah. That's pretty much a gimmick for able-bodied people. I do not think that they'll ever be mainstream. All right, how much fortitude this adventurer has. Each point reduces damage taken by 0.2%. Current reduction is 0 fortitude, 0. Yeah. Okay, so now we look at the warrior. Yeah, I think this is good. I think it's good enough. Yasu. Okay, so this on its own was a change I wanted to make so that when we get to the Paladin, we can show how much you'll reduce your incoming damage by. So we don't want to check in ability ID and we don't want to check in the new file, but we do want to check in everything else. Yes. Oh, and also we want to delete this tooltip now. This is set via code. There. All right, so we don't check this in and we don't check this in, but we check in the other three. Why did that not work the way I wanted it to work? Something strange happened. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so add tooltip for damage reduction, or I guess like clarify fortitude damage reduction. You want to show current fortitude in the tooltip? Are you planning on removing it from the UI? I think it'll stay in the UI. But I guess maybe that's what you were saying. Maybe put fortitude. Well, all fortitude is used for is reducing damage. So I guess it could just say damage percent reduction or something. I think this is okay for now. Yeah. I do want to add a mini keyboard, maybe tied to an Arduino, so every time I get a glass of beer from the kegs, I can hit it. So that might be handy. A mini keyboard. I was gonna say that could literally just be one button. In fact, it doesn't even really need to be a keyboard. You could just connect a button to an Arduino. And for that, I would just probably look at AliExpress and just look at buttons. In fact, if you were to go to anyway, buttons should be incredibly cheap, like 10 cents per button or something like that. Have to be 2 buttons. Okay, yeah, sure, 2 buttons. But either way, you'll have enough pins on the Arduino, whatever Arduino you get, to handle 2 button inputs. So I don't think that'll be a problem. You can even get Arduino kits that'll come with buttons for you and maybe LEDs and stuff. And in fact, it might be nice to have an LED that after you press the button, it turns the LED on for like a second just to indicate that, yes, you pressed the button correctly, or play a sound or something. Method fortitude is in the UI. There's no need to show it in the tooltip. I think it's still good to show both pieces of information. Current level, how much each level reduces. So you can affect it with enchants. I think the reason I wanted to show it in the tooltip is I don't know. I was thinking it'll all be in one spot, so you just have to read there. I guess it could just say current reduction 10%. Each point reduces damage taken by 0.2%. Current reduction 10%. Yeah, well, it'd make the tooltip look a little bit nicer, I suppose. So let's go do that really fast. Current reduction. Oh, I can't modify it here. Now I can. All right, I'll try that one more time. It's fine either way. I don't think it's that important. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much longer than this on this. I just want to see if this looks fine too. Yeah, okay. What about with 0? Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so now that's done. Now what we can do is inside this new thing, improved holy link, what we can do is we can say also increases your fortitude by X, which is minus % damage reduction colon P1 damage reduced. should probably follow the same structure that this thing followed, huh? Reduce damage taken by. Yeah. Reduces damage taken by plus this percent. Yeah, there. Okay, cool. All right, now let's get the percent that's here. We set stat computations dot convert. It's going to be something about fortitude. Yeah, there. And then just rename this to be like that. Do you have a way or want to do the same thing for damage? We don't have a way to do that because each ability sets its own power scaling. So for example, here, power scaling on Fireball is 1.2, but on Lightning Zaps, it's 0.4. So for that, you just need to hover over the abilities themselves, which it already does that, by the way, somewhere. Yeah, here. Quick attack that always targets the enemy with lowest health for 2 damage. And as we level up, that just says 4 damage now. We level up some more, and it says 9 damage. So those already take that into account. Yeah, Fireball deal 49 damage. Lightning Zap 16. Okay, so Paladin, we just added... we didn't put it in the tree. All adventure data. Where does it go? Oh, this can be marked done now. Just fixed this with git log -1. Haven't pushed yet. All right, so Holy Link goes at the bottom of the tree. Paladin. Ability ID Holy Link. Cool. And now we need to make it work. That should be very, very easy. Let's go to Holy Link buff. So where's the damage transfer percent? Here it is. Float damage transfer percent equals this. Plus abilities component dot get level of ability. This is the affected entity. Perfect. Never going to be considered a real dev until you start using a standing desk. That's true. Yeah. You actually can't write any code while it's seated. It's impossible. All right, something's got to give you the fortitude as well. And that should just be a battle-wide buff. Hey, Mr. Pen. Can't use your toe keyboard while standing? You probably still could. Get pedals or something. Hey, Strawn. I didn't realize your name is pronounced Strawn until somebody else said it. I think Lana. At least I assume that's how your name is pronounced. Or, yeah, I don't have this here. Is that correct? Yeah, okay, cool. Strawn. Strawn it is. Did you have to correct her? Or did she just know? This is very important. You must answer this question. Correct everyone but Lana. So then she was right from the beginning. Wow. Good for her. And bad for me. All right, so now fortitude. We don't have a way of giving a fortitude buff. All we have is a damage mitigation percent buff, and we could go in reverse order because this is a linear increase, but that's actually a bad idea. So I think what we need to do is make a damage mitigation absolute buff. Oh wait, she just made up the pronunciation, and that's now how you're called? How do you want your name to be pronounced? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because I am totally fine pronouncing your name any way that is close enough to how it looks so that people know what I'm talking about. Damage mitigation. I'm going to call this absolute buff. So for example, some people, they've got a name like, I don't know, imagine if my name were, let's just go with Mr. Friend. they've got a name like Mr. Friend and they're like, oh, call me Jake or something like that. And I'm like, I can't do that because then no one else will know who I'm talking to. So it's either Mr. Friend, or like, I don't know, some other very, very close derivative of that. Is your architecture scalable enough? Typically, when you talk about scalable architecture, you're talking about like load. Sometimes you're talking about dev efficiency. But in this case, a lot of what we're doing is not really going to change the load on the system here. And we don't have any multiplayer components or anything. So there's no concept of like, are we overloading servers even? Or yeah. So in general, yes, I would say. I think the dev efficiency part, I mean, you could always think about it. Like imagine if you have a game that's been localized to like 50 languages. Technically, then adding any one string means you're really adding 50 strings, which adds to dev time or to just cost of hiring translators. So it's like, okay, is that scalable? And it's like, well, you kind of just have to do it, right? Absolute versus fortitude for the buff name. Just call it fortitude buff. Yeah, I think that's probably better. Good suggestion. And we'll put this like how we did with power buff. It's kind of weird that we do this way. Buffs fortitude by an absolute amount. If you want a percentage buff, use what's it called? Damage mitigation percent buff. Yeah. Okay, so this is fortitude buff. We're not going to have a function like this in here. This is just going to be fortitude increase. And this is going to be fortitude increase. Then we need to go make one of these that says has fortitude increase value. Why doesn't it offer to type in the name of the class here? But it does in other cases. I'm not totally sure why, but I'd like that to be the case. Oops, that goes here. Whoops. Stupid Apple Music. I cannot get over how annoyed by that I am. God, it pops up like 3 times a day. It just enrages me when I see it. Okay. We do have a duration on this. I think we can set the duration to be the entire battle. And that means that improved Holy Link can actually be a passive ability granting a buff. And then the buff that it grants will just be a fortitude buff that grants it for return new fortitude buff. Yeah. Good, good, and positive infinity. I guess it's a floating point. Why doesn't... Oh, no, int has max value. What does... I think just max value is fine. Yeah. Constantly hit play by accident. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. Probably for the like very casual user, they liked that sort of thing. But I think I had to disable it. Then again, I never really used the MacBook I had as a laptop. It was mostly used as a desktop computer because it was docked. What about complexity and add-on ability? I don't really think about that stuff when I think about scalability. I guess it kind of plays a role, but in general, I'd probably just call those complexity. Because when I think scalability, like, okay, let's say you make a website. Is your website scalable? Think of what comes to mind when you say that. Like, and generally what it would mean is, can it handle lots and lots of people? So for a game, is it scalable? I think might mean something like maybe content. Yeah, could it handle lots of people? That sort of thing. But yeah, I don't think we're going to have really any scalability concerns with this game because there's just the only thing I could kind of think of is if you have like too many entities on screen at once. And I just don't think you're really going to get to that point in the game. You can change the Steam overlay combo. That's something I think I had to change because I think it's Shift Tab by default or something. And that's very easy to hit accidentally or even purposely as part of the game and not expected to do the Steam thing. There's other ways of scaling. Oh, yeah, definitely. I totally agree. If all I have is a question that is literally your first question that you had, it involves interpretation, right? I don't know what you're referring to by that. So that's why I answered the way that I did. If you have a split screen with two files, you know the key combination to switch between those two screens? I don't, but if you're looking for this sort of thing, you can usually just search through here. And what do they have? Split in a bunch of different directions. I think they have like go to previous or next group. Maybe it's called group. Terminal group. I don't know how to focus the different group. Oh, here it is. Yeah, focus next editor group. I'm guessing it's this. And I don't have a keyboard shortcut set for this, but I think you would just set one for that. This is my guess. I have not tested this. I don't plan on testing this, but there's the link to it for you, or the command name, I guess. I have to think about perf scalability, but also how can this new system support future features? Yeah, I think they're all valid concerns to have. And I think generally when you're adding something, it's usually only new systems that are going to affect that. Like rarely will it be data in a system that's going to affect your performance, unless you have some like mega string, you know, a 4 GB string, let's say. Try to get that loaded in the UI. You're going to need a special system for that. All right, so we get the fortitude buff. It lasts for the entire battle. It is based on this, and it's only if you have this ability. I think this should work. Yeah. We're also going to transfer more damage. Okay, let's try a couple things. Let's duplicate both these numbers and make them larger so we can tell that it's working. So how about we set this one to 95%? No, it can't be that. 90. Wait, I don't know what this can be. No, it can be 85%. Okay, so now you'll take all of the damage from your allies, and the fortitude buff will set to 400. So you'll reduce all the damage by a crazy amount. And let's try running that. I think the Paladin has 450 fortitude then at level 10. So they're going to actually reduce it by 95%. Is that correct? Yeah, 50 from here, and then we're going to give them the new ability. So click that, and now we get this. So improve Holy Link, transferring an extra 85%. Oh, it just says percent damage from allies when they take damage. Okay, also increases your fortitude by 400, which reduces damage taken by 80%. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's get that. And now let's put a couple of characters into a battle with the Paladin. So the Paladin should be the only one taking damage. And they're also reducing the damage taken, maybe? I don't know if that part's working. No, it is not working. Why is that not working? Oh, because I never took fortitude buff into account. Okay. Fun stuff. So mitigation for fortitude is going to be get base fortitude. So float fortitude is going to be all of this stuff. And we start with the base fortitude here. And we add in the get fortitude value. And then here we do total fortitude. Maybe drop the plus. I was thinking about that, and I was like, nah, I like it. But yeah, let's see what that's like. Okay, so now the Paladin will take almost no damage in that exact same situation we were just in. Paladin, get a couple points in that, and a point in that. Start a battle. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, taking very little damage. Now it is showing zeros over here. That's because you're never intended to get to 100% damage reduction. So now let's try it with the actual values we should have and not the made up values. So these will be put back in. This will be taken out. So now you're going to take an extra 5%. So your 15% damage transfers are going to go to 20%. And your 0% bonus armor, I'm just going to say, is going to go to 25 divided by 500. So 5%. It's not fantastic, right? But it still does make you tankier. Actually, is this going to be a problem? if you take 5% more from every attack and mitigate, I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Let's just try it. Inheritance doesn't scale well in bigger projects. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. So I think it all depends on what you're using inheritance for. I think there are certainly cases where inheritance makes sense. And then there are cases where you'd want to prefer composition. And Godot is all based on inheritance as it is. So if you're going to work with Godot and you're not going to use some special engine for it, then, or like some special sub engine for it, like whatever that Rust one is called, then you're going to have to deal with their inheritance. So you're probably going to start inheriting from things too. But that's just adopting the patterns that they have. And like games can be made in Godot. So I don't think that part's a problem. The other bit that we have with inheritance here is we have the ability inheritance and effect inheritance. I think this is fine. This is really just storing data. And it's been fine so far for everything that we've done. We have a structure sort of like this. We have active abilities. We have passive abilities. We have passive. Let's just write it this way. Granting buff. Yeah, and I think we have player ability. And like, that's it. It's somewhat shallow inheritance, right? You have a grandchild class here, but that doesn't really impact too much. And then effects are kind of similar. Effects have actually more inheritance than this does. Effect has effect with lifetime, effect with proc interval. I don't know what the structure is for this. I'm not going to actually go look through it. But yeah, generally not too much. And then you have a million abilities under all these, right? This has fireball and stalagmite and frost, whatever, and so on and so forth. And same thing, you have a million effects under here, poison and power buff and a bunch of other things. But yeah, I don't think it's too much of a problem. If those things become a problem, I think you can always reevaluate. I think there might be, maybe this is a myth or not. I don't know how many people sort of believe this, but you don't need to write code perfectly the first time. And rarely will you know all of your requirements right at the very start of writing your code base. Chances are you're going to make a product or a game or something. And after getting feedback 2 years down the line, some requirement's going to change. And there's no way you could have predicted that. So I think it's best to just kind of roll with the punches and follow the whole you ain't going to need it principle. Hey, Goose. Goose, I don't know if you know this, but you're talking to more of the dev team than you think you are because the dev team just grew by 1. Okay, so we started this up and I did not actually test this. So let's go test this. We're going to give the Paladin, actually, you know what? Let's do a couple things. Let's give the Paladin some of these points, one of those. This is not what I thought it was. Delete that one, put some more into that and that. Okay, and then let's put the Paladin into an endgame battle. They'll take slightly more damage from stuff. They're probably not going to win because I didn't put points in the other characters. And there's no real way to know if I am taking more damage or less damage in this. Because the numbers are not that different. Yeah, so the Paladin's dying here. I don't think they're even going to beat this first phase. Because I have not put points in anything. So let's let them all die. Yeah, good. And now let's go and put some points into the rogue. So what do I actually like now that we've got a different style of the rogue? I guess this looks pretty good. Oh man, they're actually like choices you got to make now. There weren't before. It was so clear before. All right, I'm gonna put some points like that. And then the cleric. This is still stupidly powerful. Oh, wait, though. This now doesn't work with Shield of Unity. So we can't put a point in that. Life Steal. Get that. Let's get that. And let's get some Regenerate. Okay, let's see how that battle does now. It's going to be better. I still don't think they're going to win. Well, the rogue's doing 1 billion damage. I know you can't see the whole fight. That's pretty close to it. Hey again, Craze. Yeah, now the party's invincible. They're like hardly taking any damage. Also, the lifesteal is actually healing the rogue quite a lot. Wow. That is quite interesting. There are a lot of numbers appearing. I think the Paladin's going to die. Oh, nice. M2. Yeah, I hope it goes well. And the Wi-Fi stuff, you could actually... I bought a dev board, an ESP dev board, and I'm using it as a light switch for my wife so that her end table has a light switch next to it. And it was, I think, literally $1. Like, that's it. It was $1. Now, granted, you can't use it on its own. You need a power cord. You need a button. You need some wires to connect the button. So all in all, it was probably like $3 or $4. But that wasn't too bad for a Wi-Fi connected device. Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, they're better. I don't care. I'm not testing balance right now. Never just one thing. Yeah. At least in that case, it's not intended to be just you buy the one thing and you're done. But most people have an extra charging cord, and most people who are buying that sort of thing probably have some wires and maybe even a button. Okay, so that one's done. Next up, we have luminescence. You gain X rays of holy light every second. All right, how does all of this work in the game right now? Every time you take damage, generate a ray of holy light. When at 10, you'll heal. Okay, and then how does this work? You generate more. Wasn't there something else that did that? Huh, I guess not. So just you generate more. So there's going to be another one that just says you generate them every so often. I wonder how many that has to be for it to be good. I don't know. What's it called though? Luminescence. 77. And it's going to modify holy light. How is that going to work? I'm just going to check the number. Get it per second. It should be a buff that does that then. Yeah, so it should be something like this. Nope. Okay. Okay, so num rays per second. What should this be? Who has any idea? Well, I guess what this is kind of saying, the Paladin's always going to be taking damage. There's no way for it not to take damage. So it'll never take 10 seconds to generate 10 rays of light. But if you're doing this, you want it to generate light even faster. 1 per second seems like the lowest that'd probably be decent. And it means you're casting this every 10 seconds. Does it? Should this work with that? No, this is when taking damage, so it doesn't. Okay, let's start with 1. Let's see how that goes. What's the icon for this one? Luminescence is prism. Is that a new game? From, I guess you're a first time chatter. Yes. It's a game called Skeleseller. All right, we're going to put luminescence over here. There's more information. Check out the Skell command. That is not what I wanted it to do. Man, the amount of times it does that, I should delete that. It hears me saying Skell and turns it into scale, which then matches web scale, which is just a funny video, but I should really delete that. Yeah, fine. I like the video so much, though. All right, let's see what happens when I say this now. Check out the Skell command. Oh, nice. It worked. Okay. Hey, Pretzel. Ah, we're combining days now. The Pretzel calendar superseded the Gregorian calendar 7 Wednesdays ago. All right, so the buff that we get out of this is going to be the luminescence buff. Running out of days. And this is going to pass in num rays per second. Yeah. My Friday is going really well. I am quite happy with all the progress we've been making. What was the thing I just modified here? Fortitude buff? I don't want a fortitude buff. Maybe, what was the other one called? Instinct? Now let's save this one. So luminescence buff, we put this in effect ID. Good. And it's going to have num rays per second. I sure hope we have an update here, else this isn't going to work at all. This isn't needed. It's an effect. It doesn't have a lifetime. We don't need this or this. We just save private float num rays per second. And then does effect have an update? It does. Ooh, nice. Nice. Yeah, so we're just going to change that. Override update. So private float, maybe cooldown. How does cooldown for abilities work? Active ability cooldown. Oh, it's time elapsed. Yeah, let's just do it as time elapsed then. Okay, so an update, we're just going to say, yeah, sure. Pretty much all the code, it would probably think that it does. If time elapse is greater than or equal to 1, then time elapse equals 0, or I guess minus equal 1. And then we need to do something with the rays here. All right, how do we do that? Holy light. We need to add the number of rays of light here. So we need to get the holy light buff and then add to the rays of light. We have set num rays. We need to add num rays. Where is set num rays? Oh, there. Oh, I don't want that then. Okay. How's the forest looking? Is that a question for me or Pressel? I am in the very dense Friday afternoon mode right now. But I hate pre-technic. All right, it's going to be add num rays. Float rays to add. And it's going to do everything we had here. Oh, we need the battle system as well. Oh, okay. That's originally how I interpreted it, but I didn't remember what the name of the stream was. What did I call this? No, I didn't put trees in the name. This is too many layers deep pre-technic. I can't keep up with this. Returning viewer, I know, context. But guess what I don't have? Context. Guess why? Friday afternoon. All right, so we need to get the holy light buff of the affected entity. So how do we say, I don't know, add rays, fine. And private void add rays. Okay, how do we get the holy light buff? I think effects component has something. Get by ID. And it's a read-only list. Okay, so effects equals get. Is this static? Nope. All right, so we need to get this on the affected entity, which means we need all these things. Then we get the effect with effect ID dot holy light buff. If that doesn't exist, then we got a big problem. If effects account equals 0, I guess just return. Otherwise, effects 0 add num rays. Oh yeah, we need the battle system in here. And does this exist? there. Okay, I think we're good. Hey again, Caleb. Hey again, person who is not just showing up for the first time right now, who was definitely here earlier. All right, numbers per second. Yeah, everything looks good here. I guess we can make this read only. We're never changing it. All right, how do we test this? We need an enemy that never attacks. All enemy data. We remove basic attack from here. And then we need the Paladin to never do damage. Let's just give the bat 1,000,000 life. Done. Carl Caleb. I like it. All right, what is this called? Luminescence? It's in row 2. Oh, it's already there. Yeah, all you purple people are the same to me. I don't read the names anymore. Let's look at the colors. Oh yeah, this is all broken. So if you ever stream Caleb, you're going to notice the same thing. There is generally a name color and a name length. And this, for whatever reason, serves as who you are in my head. So coding with Carlos and coding with Caleb are only off by 1 letter. They start with the same 12 letters, and they were the same color. It is very easy to confuse the two. Yeah. Yeah, Pre-Technic is the only yellow named chatter right now, right? Yeah. Blue's pretty common. Purple's pretty common. Red's pretty common. Oh, what does it say? You gain X rays of holy light every second. Okay, so this is holy light name. You gain num rays per second. Rays of holy light every second. See for more details. What is the problem here? I don't think there is a problem here. Did the camera freeze? Yes, it did. Wow. Oh, still frozen. Hang on a second. I'm going to change to some other scene here, which is going to be broken too. Is there a way to like force refresh this? There isn't. It's too Friday for the camera. I know, geez. It's not my camera that's broken. It's either OBS or it's the capture card, but I unplugged the capture card. All right, let's see if that works. Huh, never seen that happen. Let's look this up really fast. OBS camera frozen. Camera feed freezes permanently. Very susceptible to temporary interruptions. Should I just change the port that this is plugged into? I wonder if that would work. If that would break. It's not even turning on now. Oh, there it goes. Okay, what about this now? Nope. How do we fix this? If I change to the webcam and then change back to the cam link. Oh, that fixed it. All right, problem solved. Cool, thanks for letting me know. All right, let's try this. So we're gonna get the Paladin into a battle against a bat, and we're gonna give them this ability. Oh, it says raise. It should be pluralized correctly. Okay, we gotta fix that. But anyway, now the bat won't do any damage, and you'll, after 10 seconds, you'll automatically use a heal. I think it's working. I mean, I see rays of light. I did not start counting though. So I think that was 10 seconds. Probably. Looks good to me. Okay. Pluralized. So rays. Yeah. Pluralized. Changes condition so it does not always evaluate the true. Oh, I mean, currently it evaluates the true, but it might be different in the future. If I did this, would it trick it? No, it knows. What we could do, it's only a yellow though. Yeah, I know it's a const. I know why this is happening. I just want to make it not happen. I could just suppress it for right now. Yeah. Oh my God, seriously? Wow. There are multiple suppressions you need to apply to this. No, there's another one. No. In this case, it actually probably can represent one exactly. But yeah, we could say if math.abs. Wait, how did we do this before? Just search for epsilon. Yeah, math.abs. This is less than epsilon. Oh, what a ridiculous thing we need to do. So this is num rays per second minus 1. It's less than epsilon. Does that fix this too? Hey, look at that. Cool. Seems like implementing is not too hard. Can be done progressively. Has support for variating singular. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, President. Today we learned it's not deterministic. It's just that the compiler probably can't figure out that this is always going to be the case. Which I guess, yeah, it wouldn't know that it's deterministic. I guess you'd have to have pure functions, right? What am I testing? Oh yeah, the tooltip. This. You gain 1 ray of holy light every second. See holy light for more details. Every time you take damage, generate a ray of holy light. When at 10 rays of light, you'll heal yourself and your allies for 54 life. You know what would really help is knowing how long this takes to proc without this. Oh, also, if I don't put any points in this, I'll never get it, right? Let's find out. Yeah, there's no light. Okay, let's go figure out proc rate. Private, float, time elapsed, public override update. And then every time this procs, right there, time elapsed, and then set time elapsed back to 0. All right, this will tell us how long it takes to proc, and we're gonna go into a regular battle, I guess. Hey, TJ. Now let's do this, and we got to put points into some stuff here. I guess that one. Do we have anything else I want here? Yeah, this for sure. This. Okay, cool. Now let's get the cleric. Get some points into that. Get some points into that. And what other character? The witch doctor. And whatever, just put some points in random stuff. Okay, now we go to the final instance and we get the witch doctor, cleric, and paladin. And we try to see how long this takes. Oh, this is seemingly very fast. Let's see, what's it printing out? Yeah, so in the final instance, it's happening every 2 seconds or so. 4 seconds. 3. I'll just average these out once it's done. I'll just wait for the battle. In fact, if we speed this up, it shouldn't actually change any of the time values there, right? Yeah. I'm just waiting for these to stop printing out, which means that the battle has ended. I guess we can just look at the battle. It's taking quite a long time. Okay, so what's the average? We have 31 values, so this divided by 31, the average is 3.6. So every 3.6 seconds when fully buffed, and if you weren't fully buffed, because you're getting it 50% faster. So if something is 50% faster, it means that it'd be 2/3 as fast if you removed all the points. Oh God, what does that mean? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it'd be like 6 seconds. I think we need to buff this thing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But I guess we should just run it. So fine, let's run it. Just do that. Run the exact same battle. Speed this up even more. Oh, except for we need to clear the console if we did that. Nah, whatever. It's still fine. It's an average. Good enough. Let's see. We're just waiting for this to finish. Some of these are taking like 15 seconds. I guess because it's getting to the end of a... Oh, I died. Okay, well, this is not going to work as an average. Let's clear that. I want it to be at least close enough to what's going on here. Okay, good. Eventually the Paladin's going to die. Still not dead yet. Wow, that put up a good fight. All right, so we'll copy all of this. And this is the unbuffed amount. And how many lines do we have here? 11. So it's about 8 seconds. 7.96. Yeah, 8.0 seconds when unbuffed. So question, how many rays of light should this ability give you per second? It takes 10 to use the ability. If it's 1 per second, God, it's hard to do the math on this, then it means that you're pretty much doubling the speed if you got to this one, but it's only for healing, so it's a defensive ability. I guess so is the other ability you have too. I think 1 per second is probably good. Let's test that out now. So we're gonna do the exact same. Oh, will this work? Yeah, we're gonna put points into this and then into this one. We're gonna test that. Oh, I didn't clear the console. Oh. All right, clear console. Try that again. Just gotta wait for the battle to end. So this is without the new ability. I don't remember what the new ability is called, Luminance or something. And this is with the new ability. And we're doing the unbuffed one right now. Copy all. So we have 26 of these. 4.34. So then when buffed, it's going to be super fast. Oops, clear. Yep, super fast. The Paladin's invincible now. Oh, that might be too much. This whole thing might be too much. All right, what's this one? It's 37 of these. So this... How did it produce such a big difference there? I think it's only because I had to put points into this double strike, which makes the Paladin stronger. And if I did this, then we'd get a proper unbuffed amount. I put 5 skill points into... oh, this one. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. That was the buffed one, though. But, yeah, let's wait for this to end. Actually, we don't need to wait. We'll just flee the battle. Clear and repeat. Well, everybody died. Whatever, we'll still get the amounts here. How many is this? 11? I think it was 11 the first time as well. All right, so this is the proper unbuffed amount. I guess it is a range. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the balance. I mean, healing is just so difficult to judge because the healing throughput needs to be low enough that you're not just sustaining yourself infinitely. And the Paladin has quite a lot of skills that make this difficult to figure out. I'm gonna just leave this at 1 for now. We're not gonna do anything about this. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So that's good. And what other abilities do we have to add for the Paladin? I think there was something Radiant Retribution. When Holy Light is cast, use Shield Bash on a random target. This is only good if Holy Light is cast often enough, which we just found out it was cast every roughly like 4 to 6 seconds. How often is Shield Bash cast? Every 3 seconds? So normally it's 2 casts in 6 seconds, and this would raise it to 3 casts in 6 seconds. So you use it 50% more often. Would you get an ability that says use Shield Bash 50% more often? I guess it's like adding 50% damage. And also damage mitigation. And it's linked to your other ability, which is kind of cool. Problem is now it's susceptible to Holy Light's balancing. So if I were to do something like this, for example, and change the number of rays needed to heal to 13, it would be nerfing this ability. I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. All right. So how do we do this? Ability ID. We go add in Radiant Retaliation. 78. All right, how do we code this? This is going to be that when Holy Light is used, if you have a point in this, then call Shield Bash. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. All right, how does this work? It doesn't even have any changes. It's going to have a max level of 1. There's no get buff. It's just a passive ability. Okay, so when... It can't say when using Holy Light, right? What does this do? Every time you take damage, generate a ray of Holy Light. I guess when healing with Holy Light, you will also use... You will use Shield Bash name. Hey, Lex. Welcome in. We're making Skeleseller here. As you can tell by this super cool hoodie, you will use Shield Bash on a random enemy. Oh, you know what? Maybe what we could do to balance this is have it get used twice. Oh, that's probably too powerful. But I'll write that down as an idea. Idea if this is too weak. Have it use Shield Bash twice. Balance is going to be a nightmare. Try and convince me otherwise. Okay, done with that. Now we need to go modify Holy Light buff. And when you call heal right here, we're also going to use Shield Bash if you have it. So if abilities component dot get level of ability, affected entity, radiant retaliation, that we need to use Shield Bash. There's some place that I did this already in the game, and I don't remember where. Maybe if we search for .use, we'll find it. Oh, there it is. Look at that. So easy. What is all abilities data? A hash map? All abilities data is a class which has a dictionary in it. The dictionary is just the ability information. Where can I get a Skeleseller hoodie? It has to be through Amazon, which means Amazon has to ship to your country. And I don't have a link for it because it's actually, it would be 5 links or 7 links or something. So if you just search Amazon for Skeleseller hoodie, you should find it. I probably should make links for them. If you just want a t-shirt, t-shirts I have the links for there. All right, so get your shield bash ability. Shield, whoops, bash ability equals get shield bash. And call it, and that's it. Yeah, I think this is fine. Maybe what we say is, like, I want to say maybe like use holy light. And I guess we pass in the battle system. And just put all this stuff down there. Private void, use holy light. Okay. And then put all this at the bottom of the file. All right, so this is going to proc shield bash. Thoughts on letting people test the game? Testing the game enable an option that sends their battle summary to a server. Try to use that data to improve balance. I thought about something like that, like having a metric server running on my mini PC, although it wasn't necessarily for battle information. I think, okay, here's what's really tough about this. Let's say we had all that coded and we were doing it. How do we process that data? I just don't have a good answer for that. Like, most players are probably going to win most battles anyway. So we'd have to look for outliers in terms of battle speed. But the speed's going to be based on how many skill points, what enchants you had, what level your characters are, what instance you were fighting in. And it's going to be hard to come up with any sort of norm for that to know that something is overpowered. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying I'm not a data scientist. So I think we'd have all this data, which, by the way, we're not getting that system for free, obviously, but we'd have all this data, and then I'd just be like, okay, well, now what? And I was thinking about this. I watch a lot of Hearthstone. For those who don't know how Hearthstone works, it doesn't really matter. It's a card game, like a Magic style card game, basically. And the stats that people care about for there is what's the drawn win rate of a card and what's the played win rate of a card. And that's generally how you identify if the card is powerful. Like, when you play the card, do you end up winning the game after that? And when you draw the card, do you end up winning the game? And there may be some other stats. But anyway, I wouldn't have even thought of that. Even coming up with that is pretty good. There was an issue on telemetry, yeah. And I think some metrics are important to collect because they're much easier to reason about. So for example, the game scale. If you have it set to 1x, 2x, 3x, like if we find out that no one has it set to 3x, we probably should just delete the option. So those are much easier to reason about. But yeah, things like adventurer power, I think, is just really tough. And I know I'm just kicking the can down the road, but we do eventually need to tackle that. Anyway, here's what we're going to do to test this out. We're going to make Shield Bash have a pretty much infinite cooldown. And that way you'll never use it naturally. So the only way you'll do damage to an enemy is if you use Holy Light. So let's go try this out. Oh, except for, did I add this? I might not have added this. I've been trying to be better about this. All adventure data. Where's the Paladin? I didn't find it in time. Paladin. No, I did not add it yet. Okay, I knew I forgot something. Radiant Retaliation is the first one here. Ability ID Radiant Retaliation. Cool. Let's go try that out. Tried Hearthstone once. You sucked, even with paid packs, so you quit. Yeah, I guess it depends on when you tried it. Because now I think the people who play the game are only the people who really, really care about the game. I don't know how many new players they have coming in. We're going to have to try to come up with heuristics for balance. That's true. Yes. And another way we could potentially do this is by trying to evaluate skills with a strength score, which we somehow normalize. So the way that some other games do this is, let's say you have a mage and you have a rogue in a game, and the mage can cast Fireball, and it does X damage plus Y over time. And the mage just has something that does X damage. Well, the way you normalize this is you come up with DPS, and that way you can smooth out any wrinkles that are here and just figure out like, well, what's the DPS of these classes? And you might say, okay, these are off, so let's lower the damage over time here, or let's raise the rogue's damage, or let's whatever. It's really hard to evaluate this when you get too many interleaved effects. So we have buffs, we have debuffs, we have skills that can affect the crit rates of something, which can throw off one battle, but probably not 100 battles because probability will even it out. How would you even measure something like Fireball here where it can reset cooldowns? So the way you could measure it, and this is how you would do this if you really wanted to go with this route, is you would come up with what is the DPS of Fireball in a vacuum plus the chance to reset skills, and then figure out from this the DPS of those skills being reset, which is possible. It's just not easy to do. So Fireball itself, calculating in DPS, is dead simple actually, because we know the damage and we know how long it takes, so we just divide the two and we get the DPS. The chance to reset skills is a 20% chance to like 50% speed up your skills. We could get their cooldowns and their damage over time and figure out what that DPS is being added. New, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for the resub. Anyway, I don't think this is the route to go, because the problem with pursuing it from this angle is that you start looking at things in terms of like, well, no individual skill can be above the power level of other ones. Or if they are, excuse me, then you need to nerf another skill. But even with all this stuff, yeah, I think we're going to need to, I don't know, we're going to need to do some combo of what Kevin said pretty much. We take in some data, we run some simulations. And also, we just have some very enterprising play testers, I think. Like Matt was helping out a lot by testing things out. Dark was helping out a lot. And I think people naturally want to break games, or at least some people do. So trying to find the broken builds in a game can be really fun. And a bunch of people in the earlier checkpoints found some broken builds. And we learned that we've got to fix those. I don't know if we restarted this, so I'm going to restart this. Yeah, if all skills end up being the same, there's no point in having different skills. Yeah. And that's why I don't think balance should be approached from that whole like in a vacuum style. Unless your game's really simple, maybe. Then maybe you could do it that way. All right, so we're going to start the Paladin in a battle. I did not mean to do that. Just flee, don't care, close. We're going to start the Paladin. Oh, I think I made it so bats don't do any damage. Yeah, so they're just going to stand here forever. Technically, it's not forever, because I set Shield Bash to like a 300,000 second cooldown. So if we wait long enough, the battle will end in a win. It'll just take way longer than any of us want to wait. So all enemy data. We're going to give the bat an attack again. And I guess a regular amount of life again. It's okay, there's a composition that's slightly stronger. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be less okay if there was a composition that was like 100% broken and like the best, clearly the winner. And there are strats like that in other games where it's like, oh, you can effectively become invincible if you do this series of moves. I remember Golden Sun was one of those. Or not, we weren't invincible, but you could like negate half the damage you would ever take. All right, so how do we test this? We need the Paladin to not die. But take 10 hits. Maybe we just put a cleric in the fight. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, so win that battle and go to the next place. All right, so here's what's going to happen. The Paladin won't ever do damage until it's hit the maximum of Holy Light, which it's not even going to do that because I forgot to put a skill point in. So the Paladin should never do damage, and the only damage being done should be 2 damage every time the cleric heals. And so far, it looks like that's what's happening. The Paladin should heal now. Yes, good. Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Now what we need to do is we need to give the Paladin this skill, Radiant Retaliation. So we put that in. And now when they use Holy Light, they'll also use a Shield Bash, which will also have a chance to do it twice. I wonder if that's going to reset the cooldown of Shield Bash. I didn't actually think about that. Ah, there, it worked. And it did it twice. Nice. Everything is nerfable. Yeah, and nerfing individual abilities or party compositions is also doable too. There's not even leaderboards, right? Maybe the only balance to worry about would be in the direction of, are there any builds that are not fun? Yeah, that's true. And I think that goes in both directions. There's a build that's so powerful that it's not fun, and there's a build that you just can't ever make work. All right, this looked like it was working, but I want to see what happens when you use an ability. And I think it resets the cooldown, and I don't think we want to do that. It doesn't reset the cooldown. Interesting. I guess only the ability system does that. Update cooldown. Yeah, interesting. Did they just heal after death? I don't know. I wasn't watching. Let me go take a look. Oh, good. It's already muted. Oh, no. We also have a cleric in the party, so maybe that's what you saw. No, I think they took 6 damage, or sorry, they got 6 healing and then they took 12 damage. I'll go frame by frame so we can see this. Yeah, you can see the 6 is higher than the 12. That's what I think happened then. Yeah, they took 6 and then 1 frame later they took 12, which killed them. Yeah. Well, good call. Hip Hop, welcome back. Thanks for the resub. Hey, Ocleus. Have been thinking about what you said about drawn win rate and played win rate. Very smart way to do it. I think most people would just stop at deck win rate. Yeah, but the problem is with deck win rate is you wouldn't know which individual cards are contributing the most. Hey, Karada. Okay, let me close this down. And Chevalton, hello. All right, this is looking pretty good. I think we're done with the Paladin skills, and it only took us, what, an hour and 30 minutes? Oh my god. Why is it taking so long? All the abilities end up being slightly harder than I think they're going to be. Let's set Shield Bash back to a regular amount of cooldown. Let's go check in this stuff. Yeah, so we added in 3 new abilities. These are the right damage numbers. Oh, I did not look at tooltips. Let's look at those really fast. All right, so we have, what's new here? No, here. You gain 1 ray of Holy Light every second. See Holy Light for more details. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this one, when healing with Holy Light, you will use Shield Bash on a random enemy. I don't like the you will part. Whenever you heal with Holy Light, use Shield Bash on a random enemy. Yeah. When healing with... Whenever you heal with Holy Light, use Shield Bash on a random enemy. Only make coffee once or twice a week, and a good coffee grinder would be over 100 pounds. Yeah, but that means that after some amount of time, it would have paid itself off, right? And does a coffee grinder last for that long? And I'm guessing the answer is yes. Done very well. Nice, Mystical Cell, and welcome back. Yeah. And then this was the last one. Improve Holy Link, transferring an extra 5% damage from allies when they take damage. Maybe to you when you take damage? What does this say? Links you to your allies, causing 15% damage they take. I don't like that. Damage they take, causing 15% 5% of the damage they take to be transferred to you. Yeah, an improved Holy Link should say, improve Holy Link, transferring an extra 5% damage from allies when they take damage to you. Damage to you from allies when they take damage, yeah. Also increase your fortitude by that, which increases damage reduction by 5%. Yeah, and if we're going to use a round number here, I guess we shouldn't use P0. How do we have, can we use P number sign? Is that a thing? I don't think that's a thing. C# string format percent. P. All right, how do we do this? I want it to be I don't know what I'm looking at. I want like a P number sign where it shows a percentage, or it shows after the decimal only if it's needed. The default is specified by this. No, I guess it's not a thing. Has you notice I had it for decimal points. I don't have it for percentages. If you put a number sign like 0 dot number, but I don't know how to do that for percentages. I guess we could just round the, no, wait, no. We need to know that you need to round the percent or not. Whatever. For now, you know what? It's just gonna be P0. Yeah. My wife was looking into getting a nice coffee machine, but she's very non-picky in her coffee, I think. And a coffee machine that she wanted to get would be like you have to take a lot of effort to make your coffee. Okay, so this just changed. Improve Holy Link, transferring an extra 5% damage to you from allies. From allies? From your allies. When they take damage. Also increases your fortitude by 25, which reduces damage taken by 5%. Cool, yeah. All right, I'm pretty happy with this. Good, good, good. Good. Yep. Yep. What is this? This is not needed. Which means this is not needed. Any other instances of time elapsed? No. Okay, cool. Didn't I have another printout somewhere? I haven't found it yet. Yeah, that's good. Good. And good, yeah, cool. All right, any prints in something that I just added? No. Add Paladin abilities. I think that this checkpoint is going to represent the biggest change of any of the checkpoints so far. We fixed this, right? Yeah, nice. Okay, next class. What is the next class? The Witch Doctor, I think? Yeah, the Witch Doctor. For those who are maybe just tuning in or haven't really closely followed, the way that we've been pursuing this game is in April, we started development on the game. And then in May, we released Checkpoint 1, which you can consider to be V0.1. This is like a very rough alpha of the game. And the feedback we got was like kind of basic stuff. Like, I can't read text in the game. Really basic stuff. Yeah, there were some big problems. And we addressed a lot of that, and we did a checkpoint number 2, I think I'm just going to make up numbers, July, and then checkpoint number 3 was like 2 to 3 weeks ago. I don't remember when exactly. And now checkpoint number 4, I'm aiming for November, but it might not be possible. And already what we've done, oh, actually, I wrote this all down here. Nice. Yeah, May, then July, then September 27th. Yeah, so checkpoint number 1, not a lot of content, just some battle mechanics. There was no saving and loading, just had the basic gameplay loop. Then we changed some things around, added quests. There really wasn't too much that changed from checkpoint 1 to 2. Then in checkpoint number 3, we did a bunch of different things. We added buildings, we added 3 new classes, we fixed the whole gameplay resolution stuff. You could manually move items. We added a music track. And now in the next checkpoint, yeah, add the vault, added the enchanter. We're working on the skill trees now. We're gonna get customers to act like customers. I still can't read text on your work machine. That sounds like a big problem. Yeah, I think you mentioned something about this a while ago, though. Well, let's see if players are complaining about that too. Oh, I wrote January question mark. The question mark means this is almost certainly not happening. But I agree. It is very optimistic. I think we'd have to say like February for that. And this says December. I don't even know what this would be. April. Yeah. All right, yeah, next up is the Witch Doctor. Let's get started. So we need 3 new abilities. Zombie Legion. Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie. Okay. Zombie Legion. Okay, what's this going to do? It's going to have to grant the Witch Doctor a buff that can't go away on death unless they get revived. With that buff. Hang on a second, let me think about this. No, there's no getting revived. If we ever add reviving in the game, we're going to have a lot of problems. So I'll just probably keep all this in a revive list. Things to do if we ever have a revive ability / enchant. Code effects as persisting through death, e.g. the Witch Doctor's Zombie Legion should be put on them again after they're revived. Hey, Wicked Lazy. So note, we don't have to add reviving to the game, but if we do, there are things that won't necessarily be obvious that I wanted to track somewhere. Yeah, let's leave it at that. So Zombie Legion, this is going to grant the buff. The buff is just going to go away when you die, but nothing can revive you, so it doesn't matter yet. And we'll just save this here. Zombie Legion. Whoops, do we want to not that? All right. What's the tooltip for this? Whenever an enemy dies, let's just do this. Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie. And I'll write like, note, you must be alive for this effect to work. I think that's a fair note to include in the skill. Yeah, that's what I remember you saying, Dark. Gotcha. Every devil confess, Skeleseller will be number 1. Oh, if only. I was reading, just for fun, I was reading the reviews of Stardew Valley yesterday on Steam. But here's the kicker. I'll just type in Steam. I think it was the second result, but whatever. Yeah, so here's the kicker. I was going through review type negative and just seeing what people said about this. And some of these reviews are like look at this one, for example. 221 hours on record. And they wrote just kind of meh. Why would you play a game for 221 hours if you thought it was kind of meh? Like, I don't know. I don't really think that's fair. And I'm not saying everyone needs to have a glowing review, and it's fine. Yeah, maybe something hooked you enough for that long and you still didn't like it. Oh, Valve does this thing where you got to actually reset this. Was there anything else that I saw here? I don't know. I read through a bunch of these, and yeah, some of these, like this one, I'd recommend the game except for Junimo Kart. They really hate Junimo Kart, but they played for 143 hours, and also Junimo Kart is like a tiny portion of the game. it just made me think, if Skeleseller were out and people were playing this, would they be bothered? Like, one of these, okay, I don't mean to just focus on playtime, but one of them said something like, it's just not that deep a game, your choices don't really matter. Yeah, and I just thought, oh man, what are they going to say about Skeleseller? Might have put it on pause for a long time, not actually playing. They might have, although I'd be kind of surprised if Steam didn't stop counting gameplay after like 10 hours of no input, let's say. There are negative reviews with 1,500 plus hours. I don't know what that game is, but I think the other sort of interesting factor here is that Stardew is like a widely beloved game. So for people to put in 200 hours and then say, yeah, it wasn't really for me, I just feel like they probably could have figured that out earlier, and they maybe don't dislike the game as much as it sounds. Diligent reviewers. I'll play for 5,000 hours if I have to, but I'm leaving that negative review. Yeah, I just tend to drop games pretty early if I don't like them. The last game that was like that for me that I remember was One Shot. I did not like this game, and it did not ever get any better, and yet it's overwhelmingly positive. And I don't know how long I ended up playing this for. I think it was a small number of hours. But you can see even some of the people who reviewed this played for like 5 to 10 hours. So I might have gotten like 30, 40, 50% of the way through the game. Just not the game for me, for sure. But I didn't leave a negative review. Actually, I haven't reviewed any Steam games as far as I know. All right, well, that's done. Let's go add the buff. Granting buff. All right, so we need a Zombie Legion buff. Do we have any zombie buffs? We have Zombie Link buff. Yeah, let's add Zombie Legion buff. Zombie Legion buff. Cool. Go add an effect. It should just know what I want. It doesn't. Oh, wait a sec. What was that? Did I delete something? Why did Radiant Retaliation not have a... Oh, it doesn't have a buff associated with it? No, it doesn't need it. All right, Zombie Legion buff. Only sensible when the devs kill their game with updates. I think I have 1,000 hours in PUBG and left a negative review. Oh yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah. I think a lot of people had that happen with Risk of Rain 2, actually. They released a new version, and then you couldn't even downgrade to an old version and play anymore. They like really shot themselves in the foot. Gamer entitlement problem. People don't understand they're not liking the game. Oh, I have a tiny update. Let me share my very tiny update. I think Kevin was involved in the last part of this update. Wait, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here, I found it. Okay. So this, the person who responded on the devlog, or who said, hope it'll be free. I said the whole thing about game economics, and they said, I have 95 cents on Steam. Can you make it €1 or such? Maybe even 3. So I did respond to them, and I said, you know what? How about this? Just send me a message when the game comes out, and you can have it for free. So there. It's a happy ending for everybody. I don't even, what would it even take to take someone's 95 cents? Like, how do I even do that? I have them PayPal me money or something and send them a Steam key? I'm not going to do that. Yeah, 10,000 messages. Well, it's just from that one person. I think if a bunch of people started saying this stuff, I'd be like, all right, there's something fishy going on. And I don't think they're probably going to remember months from now to send me a message anyway. But I've done this sort of thing before. A lot of people have, back when I actually cared about selling courses, which I'm not doing this now, so you don't even need to go to this website. But when I was selling some of these, some people would be like, oh, I'm not totally sure. I'm like, just, you can have a full refund if you don't like it. It's totally fine. And no one ever did contact me about that. Maybe they just never bought it to begin with. But I want people to be happy with what they're getting. And I think there is a limit to how many people I'd give a free copy of the game to, but some random person on YouTube, sure, they deserve it at this point. Okay, so the buff that you get from this is going to be the Zombie Legion buff. Turn new Zombie Legion buff. And what does this do again? Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie? Yeah. All right, so we need to know when enemies die. Which I don't think we have. Effect. We have when an ally dies. Yeah, we now need enemy died. All right, enemy died, dying enemy. All right, so in Zombie Legion, we're going to override this. Oh, you know what I should do if I haven't done this already? Yeah, I should make virtual and override be opposites of each other. Where is this here? Virtual override. Now that's smart. So now I can just toggle this and it'll change between the two words. 95 cents for selling cars in CSGO crates. Yeah. Maybe in the next few months they'll have gotten an allowance or something. All right, so when an enemy dies, we just want to use Summon Zombie. And we just wrote something that does this, Radiant Retaliation. Except for it's not that. It's Holy Light. And it uses Shield Bash. And it's not that. It's Holy Light buff. Shield Bash this. And I don't think we even need to check for the level here. Oh, we need to check for the level in this. So if the source has Zombie Legion, then grant them the buff. Otherwise, return null. And let's do this the other way around. If this is equal to 0, then return null. Can he have a pet snake now that he's a skeleton? Actually, that would be kind of funny. The thing that killed them now can't hurt them anymore. Can it loops through it? Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. So like I can have Monday go to all the days of the week, or first go to a bunch of different ordinal numbers. Familiar with the null object pattern? Let's see, null object pattern. So I accidentally put a breakpoint there. Behavioral design pattern used to provide a consistent way of handling null or non-existing objects. Instance of a concrete class that implement a known interface instead of null references. Class specifying various operations to be done. Yeah, I'm familiar with this. Yeah. I don't want to return an effect that does nothing in this case, though, because then every time we need an effect, we'd be iterating over a bunch of potential do nothing effects. So I don't think it'd be fitting for this, if that's what you're suggesting. Having a snake boss that you defeat, either way I need closure. The other option is you never see another snake in the game. This is going to become the new equipment ordeal. All right, so Zombie Legion buff, we're going to do this. We don't need this thing here anymore. We just need to go get summon zombie. Summon zombie. Use it. And in this case, it is the user of the ability. And now what's the problem here? Add the override keyword. Oh, must have been toggling a bunch of times. Yeah, we have worm.png. Doesn't anyone respect that I made a worm command? Look at this thing. That's pretty much a snake. All right, there's some problem lingering in the back of my mind for all of this. I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I haven't called I haven't called enemy died. Ally died. All right, so run on enemy died. Enemy. So this is node enemy in get enemies dying entity. Enemy died. All right, now we don't have a get enemies function. I don't even know if we have like a get opposite team, get opposing team. Oh, we do. So what is this going to be? Filter battlers by team. Actually, I want living battlers. Filter living battlers by team. Team opposing team equals. There we go. All right, I think that'll work. Would it be better to create an abstract method that the same for the two? Wait, what? For that is the same for the two different entities? For what are we talking about here? The when run on allied died and everything. In general, all this is doing is calling a particular function in the effects component, but it's a like rather than make something that has me pass in, I guess the function that has this similar signature. I think this is just fine to do. There are little things. Let me say this. I think there are little things like this where it's like, okay, we have two very similar functions. It's not like drastically impacting the code. There's probably a pretty low chance of us ever needing to really change this around a whole lot. And it's not inflating the code by a lot either. So yeah, Yaniki, I think in an ideal world, maybe you would do that, but I don't think it's worth devoting the dev time to. Sock, hello guys, is there any news for the IO domains? I don't think there's any news yet, no. I think I talked to the person who runs itch.io, he's a friend of mine, and he said he looked up the top.io domains and that he was actually like number 4 on that list. What was number 1 on that? I think github.io. And that's used for a lot of GitHub pages. And I don't remember what the other ones were on the list. I don't even know if it was an official list. But it might, they might get saved. They might not get saved. Who knows? I'm just asking. I'm a full newbie on game development coming from web. Yeah, I think my general stance on coding stuff is that it is so much a problem of prioritization when you can do everything, because you shouldn't do everything. So then it's like, well, what do you work on? And that's where I think there's just some amount of tech debt you almost have to accept moving forward, or else you'll keep running into this problem where you iterate over the same code over and over until you feel like, okay, it's perfect. And then you move forward and 2-3 months later, you're like, well, it was perfect based on the requirements I had at the time, but now my requirements have changed. It's no longer perfect. I need to go back and revisit it anyway. And I wasted all that time spending perfecting it. All the time spent perfecting, excuse me. I think this is done now. Let's go try this out. Did we give the witch doctor the ability? Witch doctor, no, we didn't. Where does it go? Zombie Legion goes in the second row. Ability ID dot zombie legion. Let's go try it out. Null effect doing nothing just replaces the null checks you probably have now, just a different way of handling it. Perhaps arguably better since fewer code paths because fewer conditionals. C# has a lot of handling of conditionals that's kind of just sort of automatic. So in this case, for example, well, the reason we have this get effect, I need to back up a step, but I don't know if it's even worth clarifying all of this. But let's look at Zombie Legion, for example. If you have this buff, then when an enemy dies, you'll summon a zombie. So we need to make sure that if you don't have this skill, that you shouldn't get this buff. So there needs to be a check somewhere that's like, are you a high enough level in this skill to get this? And the place we do that check happens to be here. If you're at level 0, just don't return a buff at all. And I think that's pretty reasonable. And then we call get buff from, I don't remember where. Anyway, it'll check to see if there's a null effect returned from this, and if so, just not track it at all. I spend so much time trying to write the perfect method, and on the next 4 months we need to change it. Yeah. And I think if that is advice coming from higher up, as in a manager is saying like, okay, fix this, make this perfect, and there's no explanation as to why, I think I would ask why, because they may not exactly trying to be solve the same problem. They may not be trying to solve the same problem. Yeah. And I've seen this happen where sometimes there are junior devs who need to improve their coding skills so that the first time they write code, it can be a little bit better. Like imagine writing something like switch, I don't know, just some variable, and then writing like a million case statements here and finally having a default at the bottom. This is probably an indication you should be doing something different. Like there's rarely a time I think where you want this many cases. And if you're a junior dev, it'll probably take you the same amount of time to write this as it would take you to write the proper way, let's say. So times like that, where it's like, oh, we're trying to improve our code quality, but we end up changing this anyway. Like, there's a limit to that. I think there's an amount of sort of reason that goes into it. I don't know why. Did I ban the word lore by any chance? I have not. No. If it's more than 500 characters, then it wouldn't be able to send. You could paste bin it or gist it. All right, did I end up adding this ability? Because I don't even know if I added it and then ran this. I did. Cool. So we have Zombie Legion, but it has a wrong tooltip or wrong icon. What is the icon I wanted? Legion. Raise Zombie. Raise Zombie. I know what you mean, endless perfection. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I think, run into this on their hobby projects too sometimes. And I talk about this topic a lot on stream, so I'll try to keep this short. But I think when you're working on a hobby project, it's natural for you to steer toward what's fun because it's a hobby as opposed to a business or something you're trying to make money off of. So what you might find fun is perfecting systems that you're coding. And then the project doesn't move forward, and you find that 3 months later, you're like, let's go back and refactor the battle system that we have in the game. And if you find that fun, by all means, go do it. But yeah, at some point with sort of production development, you need to move forward. And it sometimes means coding to the best of your ability at the time and not spending a month perfecting something. Okay, so we're going to put the Witch Doctor into a battle in a place that at least has enough enemies so that we don't win the battle immediately. So hopefully they can win, or hopefully they can kill at least one of these enemies. Yeah, it looks like they're going to have enough damage to do that. And when they die, we should not see a new zombie get summoned unless it was naturally the new zombie that would have gotten summoned anyway. Okay, perfect. So they are not summoning new zombies. Now we're going to flee that battle, and we're going to put a point into, that's fine. We're going to put a point into this, Zombie Legion. Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie. Okay, now we repeat the battle. And now we should end up with more than 2 zombies. It's working. I just zoned out for a second. But yeah, cool. We got 5 zombies. This is probably overpowered. My other idea was that it could summon zombies with only half life. Because for those who don't know, zombies in this game are always dying. So as soon as one is summoned, it just starts ticking its life down, whether or not it's taking damage from an enemy. So it will eventually die. I turn into a zombie. This is going to be such a letdown, but here it is. I can't wait to read this. Here's some fun lore. What, man, this message is boring so far. You said fun lore? I'm like 6 words in and it's not fun yet. What if it actually wasn't a snake and instead was, I don't know how to pronounce this. Group of limbless vermiform amphibians with small or sometimes non-existent eyes. Ah, handy picture for your nightmare fuel. Well, don't want to look at that anymore. Which is not a reptile, but an amphibian, and it is a very unusual and interesting animal. And despite it being an amphibian, it is venomous like a snake is. Plus, it looks like a snake. Maybe the townsfolk were just misinformed. Oh man, okay, I want you to write the first Skeleseller fan fiction when the game is finally out and inform people what it is that I couldn't tell them. Projects look way cleaner at home than at work, where there are deadlines and code must be done and it must work. No need to be clean. Actually, you know what? That's probably another reason why people want to make perfect code is because they don't get to do it on their job. Yeah. And for me, as mentioned, I talk about this topic a lot. But for me, I think this represented an important enough mind shift. Man, I can't speak anymore. Mindset shift, which is originally I thought you should try to make things good the first time and you should just hold off on submitting it. And I think now there is a balance between making it good and taking too long. And the reason why is because if everything is a prioritization game, and let's say tech debt gets to be a problem, then tech debt gets prioritized. because now it has risen to the point where it is costing people time or costing resources that you don't really have to spend on this thing. And I think the way I typically see companies do this is that it becomes so burdensome that it becomes the sole focus for some amount of time. Like, hey, we just spent 6 months developing and we accumulated a lot of tech debt. Now we're going to spend one entire month solving it. And that's where I then think there's a bigger problem, which is like, okay, now we need to start addressing our tech debt as we go. So it becomes almost like a pendulum that swings and you go too far in one direction and then too far in the other. And then you sort of find a cycle that works for you as the pendulum slows down. First 3 chapters are on the equipment system. I was equipping snakes. Okay, so balance aside, this is working. And is it too powerful? Do we still have the game open? Like, could the Witch Doctor, how would the Witch Doctor do in a battle against the final place? I think they're going to lose because I think they're going to die before they're able to kill a single enemy. Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's not like they're overpowered there. But what if... Let's put some skill points in that. That'll only make them live slightly longer. Is it... It always summons a zombie? Yeah, it's always. That is another way we could change it. We could make it a chance. If this is overpowered, summon the zombie with half health. Make it a chance to summon a zombie. Can we take the opportunity to also fix something? It's helpful to manage tech debt. I think that's good. Yeah. Witch Doctor has double health? What do you mean, Karada? What is that? Is it to solve the problem of them dying too soon? Because they're not supposed to win this fight. I just want to see if they were overpowered. And I mean, they're not overpowered enough to win that on their own. Although maybe they could do this. Oh, health bar is wide. Oh, that's just because the name Witch Doctor is expanding the button. I need to eventually change that somehow. Okay. So now we're going to the place a level below this, which should be slightly easier, but maybe not easy enough to kill an enemy. Can they kill one enemy? Maybe. I think it's going to be very close. They killed one. Okay. Yeah, what I was concerned with is they hit a singularity point where they can kill one enemy, so now they can beat the entire fight because now they've got well, it's properly named Zombie Legion, I guess. Although now it shouldn't work, right? Yeah, it does not add new zombies. Did they win the fight? Oh, no, they didn't. This might be too powerful. I don't know. I don't know. Basically, snowballing. If they survive for long enough, the poison just melts. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, okay, I'm starting to get some ideas here about how we can do this, but where was that ability that made it so that you got lifesteal? That's kind of interesting. Let's do that. Here it is. Yeah, you get lifesteal. Okay, so let's do this. And I wonder how they'll do in the final battle now. I don't think they'll win. Oh my god, they just rip through the zombie. Yeah, no, they're not going to do anything. Oh, the Witch Doctor doesn't benefit from lifesteal because it doesn't have any attacks. I just thought about that. Huh. The UI is just for debug and def, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to need to change a lot of this stuff. And some things literally have the word debug on them, like this isn't going to exist. This just gives you skill points in the game. And when you start a battle, there's a debug speed up that just puts you into the battle immediately. Kind of cheated with having no caffeine. What'd you do? be all right to shorten the name. It would be, but we need to come up with a solution that's going to work for everything. I wanted to try something else here. What happens if the witch doctor and the rogue are in a battle and the rogue gets all the kills? It should still summon zombies, which maybe doesn't really make sense, but that's how I want it to work. So yeah, the rogue should get execute. Yep, and a zombie popped out. And yep, we're definitely summoning zombies when the rogue gets kills. And now the witch doctor is too powerful. So what if we try that in the final instance? We get this, we get a bunch of points into, actually that's pretty good. Get a point into that. Get a point into that. Get a point into that one. All right, I want to try in the final battle now. Could just the rogue and the witch doctor win? They just need to kill one enemy. Oh, they're definitely doing that now. And now we should be in the zombie singularity. Maybe. They're going to win the first round, but I think they're going to die in the second. Yeah. This is like stupidly powerful. Also, the zombies kind of have infinite sustain, don't they? Maybe they should take increasing damage as time goes on. Well, I was right. They died in the second round. Does Shaman not fit? Shaman fits, yeah. And Shaman would solve the problem too, but we still have the problem in other ones. Like Mage is a different number of characters from Warrior. If we localize the game, there's still be an issue. So we still got to come up with something. It's probably just going to be put the name outside of the character thing. So it'll still show here, and this can still be wide, but the health bar won't be wide. Well, I guess that still looks weird. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. Maybe we don't show the name there at all. Maybe we show the name when you click, and then it says like Paladin level 10. And that way they're just icons. Why is it called Witch Doctor, not Necromancer? I just thought the icon looked a little more like a Witch Doctor to me. That's all. Show a symbol and the name of the tooltip. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, we're not going to try to solve this yet. I'm just saying it's a known issue. We definitely need to do something about it. It's probably going to be this way in checkpoint number 4, by the way. It's not super important. People will be confused, but it's not like a debilitating form of confusion. Okay, so Zombie Legion. Summon the zombie with half health. Maybe we should do that. Maybe this is only overpowered, excuse me, because of the rest of the balance of the game. Maybe it should be a chance to summon a zombie. I don't know. But let's maybe make it summon the zombie. Oh, how would we even do this? We need to be able to get the summoned zombie, which I'm not going to worry about this for right now. But I actually don't have an easy way to do this. We would need to call use on this ability, which does not return anything, and then from the battle system be able to tell that we just got a new summon. And the only way to do that, it's asynchronous in that we get battlers just summoned, and then on the next frame we add them to the battle. So we'd have to wait a frame, or we'd have to like fetch this beforehand. I'm not going to worry about this for right now. All right, what's next? Bursting Horde. When a zombie dies, damage all enemies. All right, so this has to be a buff granted to zombies. Bursting Horde, which means this needs to translate to the enemy, which means it's going to be like lethality. All right. Bursting Horde. And then I got to take a break. I can't keep doing this whole sit for 3 hours and then not take a break. Actually, I should stand up now. One enemy dies and WD summons until the field is filled. Shouldn't it be kill enemy equals zombie? It is kill enemy equals zombie, but they also summon zombies every like 7 seconds. How would it feel if you added 5 power to the zombie after each hit? I don't think the zombie should get more powerful. And that's part of the reason why Vampiric Bite exists. Hang on a second. What is going on? Sorry, my USB cable got stuck around something and I couldn't raise the desk any higher. What is going on? What's a skull? Skull is the artist name. So that icon is taken from Skull. I think it's unplugged itself. All right, Bursting Horde. Let's get this from Lethality, because I think that's as close to this as we want. Yeah. Bursting Horde. Cool. Cool. What's the icon we use for this one? Bright Explosion. Yeah. And is conferred to summon is true. All right, what's this one? When a zombie dies, damage all enemies. Oh, balance, balance, balance. All right, well, let's go figure out what should this even do in terms of power. It's damaging every enemy, so I guess it shouldn't be a ton of damage. Maybe power scaling of 1. Get base damage. %10 chance. I think it can be 100% chance and just it doesn't do a ton of damage. I like the idea at least. All right, so your zombies explode when they die, dealing... Why don't we do this? The base power. This is inside of a tooltip. So dealing damage... :0. Damage to all enemies. Doesn't like it. They take 10% morale damage. And every once in a while, unknown. I think back to when we were trying to figure out that whole Paladin healing problem. And you asked me for like the 4th time, hey, what about this situation? I did the math. And I'm like, why are you asking? You said, is that fair? Oh, peak humor on a programming stream. All right. So this gets sent to summons. So we need to know when the summon dies, but this doesn't give you a buff. I didn't think about this. How is this going to work? Yeah, there's got to be some buff that corresponds to this thing. I guess summon zombie could maybe do it. It's a little strange, I guess. Oh, there's zombie curse. Oh, we could just do that then, right? They always get the zombie curse. And we could just have an on-death thing here. Is there an on-death? There's on-damage taken. There is no on-death, is there? There isn't. There's on-damage taken. I guess we could do that and then check to see if we're dead in here. Let's see how that works. Can this work if the character is dead? Oh, nice. It can't. Okay, perfect. So we can just check there. Yeah, we override on damage taken and... Oh, but damage might not be what kills you. Could be some like debuff that says after 5 seconds, die. When a zombie dies, it heals a Witch Doctor. I don't like that only because it's not synergistic with the rest of the Witch Doctor package. The zombies also have a chance to just take a hit for an ally. And I feel like instead of healing the Witch Doctor, just make the zombies take more hits. Yeah, I think I need an on die here. Is removed from entity ever used to represent death? No. Why don't I have it? All right, fine. Let's make one. Public virtual void on death. Why do those pop up and then go away? All right, so battle system. We have the whole on ally died, run on died. Yep, we're gonna do a EC dot run. Oh, this has to be done beforehand. Wait, whoa, before I do this, let's look at this for a second. Call effect function for entity. This will work, but isn't this just doing? Yeah, this is call effect function. But this does check to see if the entity's dead, which I guess the entity would have been dead, so we'd need to do it this way. So ec.call effect function effect.on death. Perfect. Inaccessible. We just make it public. Oh, these are all public anyway. Not anymore. Yep. What's stopping the adventurers from robbing the skeleton? The skeleton doesn't hold the money in their pockets. They hold it in the guild with all the other adventurers that you'll never see. It's heavily guarded. If this game ever becomes mega popular, Unknown's going to be quoting me on this. It's going to be like J.K. Rowling answering all these questions about, well, Hogwarts actually had 4,000 students. They represented every single possible combination of things that my readers have asked me about. All right, I think this will be good. And then we'll put this in the zombie thing. Zombie curse. What's the point of even giving them the skill? Oh, I see. Public override on death. Okay, so what are we doing here? We are checking to see if you have the bursting horde thing on it. Yeah. So if abilities component get level bursting horde, if it's equal to 0, then just return. Otherwise, burst. Yep. Okay, so deal damage to everybody. What does damage to everybody already in the game? Nothing. Boulder. Yeah, this. Okay, so get a list of targets. Battle system. Affected entity. Damage equals... This is called bursting horde. Get damage. This needs to be the current power of the entity, and this is while they still have all their effects. Why does this not work? Can I implicitly convert? Oh, float to int. Sure, that's easy. All right, now battle system deal damage to each target. This is affected entity. All right, what is this? Multi-target, direct damage, physical damage. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, let's try that out. Is there anything I'm missing here? Maybe granting them the ability. Yeah, that'd be good. Ability ID dot bursting horde. So zombies just need to die and they'll do damage to everything. Yeah, your zombies explode when they die, dealing 10 damage to all enemies. Okay, let's go try that in the jungle. Oops. I don't think it worked. Yeah, I don't think it worked. Something is stopping this from happening probably when they're dead. Is this even being called? Oh, didn't get the ability. Yeah, you're right. Oh man. All right, so this is getting called, and this is 0. Yeah. All right, so flee the battle, and then we need to give some points. There we go. And now, actually, there's no point zooming in. When a zombie dies, it's going to break into VS Code, so we won't be able to see anything. Yeah, it's working now. Okay, so now we hit the play button, and we should see 10 damage floating off of everybody. Wait, is it doing... Did it do 41 to everybody? What does it say? Oh, yeah, 41, because I leveled up to 10, I guess. That seems like a lot. That definitely seems like a lot. How much does bite do? Oh, that's a problem. It should say how much they're going to do. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's try that again. No, maybe it's not a lot. I guess the poison's doing quite a lot. Well, it is kind of letting the witch doctor solo this place. No, not quite. But you know what would make this even easier is when I get this zombie legion. When an enemy dies, summon a zombie. So, and then maybe 1 point or 2 points into this. That should be enough to probably make the witch doctor win the battle. Oh man, it's doing 369 damage. Yeah, now one of those zombies died. They almost won. They got down to 3 enemies. I wonder what the damage was. 151 DPS. Yeah, if we throw any other character in there, like the rogue. Get this, get this, get this. Yeah, witch doctor and rogue. All right, no way they're going to lose this. Oh, that's not the rogue. It's a funky looking rogue. I'll probably still win this though. Yep. Pretty easily. That was 142 DPS. Now if I actually throw the rogue in, it's probably going to do a crazy amount. Let's speed this up too. Oh yeah, this is just ridiculous. 150 DPS, but they had 62% life rating. Oh my god. 174. Wow. Well, there's a bug. What's this doing? Collection was modified. Remove dead battlers. Line battle system 528. Oh, because we're killing an enemy while we're iterating over dead battlers? That is a problem. We could just duplicate this one, but this is actually going to cause a different problem, which is that then we clear out the dead battlers here. So we actually need to clear it. We need to duplicate it and then clear it, and then iterate over the duplicated one. So what is this? Read-only hash set. Hash set. Are they nodes? Yeah, they're nodes. Nodes copied equals new dead battlers. Yeah, go over the copied one here and then clear dead battlers immediately. In running effects on death, it's possible that we kill more entities. So we copy the collection, say that, generic. Any feedback on new instances? I don't think so. I think the instances are good. Oh, although something I'm just noticing on this one is that I guess the bottom zombie is kind of covered by the foliage. Yeah. That's fine. Oh, they are kind of standing in the water, right? Okay, that one might be a tiny bit strange. But I do like that there's animated water. Probably use this icon in green instead of using the word poison. Yeah, I think I, we got to do something about this eventually. But I think what I want to do is I want to have a game setting that's like show words for effects that happen. And ideally we have some other way of also showing that same information. We need to test this out. So I gotta take a break. But then when I get back, I want to make sure that this is no longer happening. So if I forget that, please remind me. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, most of you know the drill. Anyone new, just type join in Twitch chat and you can jump and, you know, try to beat the people who have played this game way too many times. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm back. Close the game. I'm going to take care of that issue that we saw. Well, it should already be taken care of, so we're just going to verify that it was taken care of. Oh, is that a cat? Is that a cat I see? Good girl. Hi, cat. There goes the work. Okay. All right, let's see. Hi. Okay, so we were testing the witch doctor, and we want. I guess it was bursting horde. Yeah. Let's put some points into these things. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter how many points we put into that. Okay, okay, okay. She pressed Q. And we'll go here and we'll fight the... Okay, cool. Let's take a look. She's licking my hand. All right, all we're testing here is to see if those same errors happen as before. Full screen kitty cam. I can't, like, even if I fully zoom out on this, you can't really see her. I need to angle the camera differently, and I haven't set that up. Abby, here. Jump. Yes. Oh, good girl. What a good cat you are. She just wants attention. This is roughly the time when I would go play with her and then give her food. No testing, only kitty cam. I mean, I don't even have a... I guess I have this scene. Yeah. Oh, what a good cat. I don't think she's hangry. I just think she's so used to playtime being like right now. Abby. Abby, you want to come over here next to the camera? Yes, you do. Oh, she's smashing onto the keyboard after that. What a good cat. Yeah, looks like this is fixed. In fact, if I just set auto battle, then we can test and pet the cat. There we go. All right, you want to come back over here? Abby. Abby. Okay, good girl. Oh, by the way, I was thinking you can apply to be on the front page of Twitch. I should probably apply after the game, shortly after the game has been launched. But I was thinking, should I just play the game and just hang out and talk to people? Because I feel like probably viewership would sort of incidentally be higher, but not because of the stream content, just because it'd be on the front page. Full playthrough. Yeah, I think we'd have to do something like that. Maybe just stream for a few hours or something. We have one more of these abilities to code. And it was zombie leader. When the witch doctor has no zombies, the next zombie to be summoned has plus 20% stats and a crown. Another thing I got to write down here is the witch doctor should probably show damage numbers in, what is it? In the bite tooltip. Maybe slightly hard to figure that out. Did the error go away? Yeah, it did. What time is it? Because the cat's meowing right now. It's only been 2.5 hours. I mean, technically, I've hit the number of hours I wanted to hit streaming today, almost exactly as of 3 seconds from then. Which is exactly 6 hours, although I didn't take any breaks more than just the 2 while streaming, so I guess it was even slightly longer than I wanted to. But I do kind of want to code this, but I don't know. There's no way I can get done with the archer as well unless I spend like another hour and a half. I think it's okay if this bleeds into next week, or maybe I take care of it on the weekend. I don't know. Probably just do it on Monday though. One last ability. Fine, one last ability. All right, zombie leader. Let's go code this thing quickly. Zombie leader. What's the icon that it uses? Crowned skull. And what's this close to? This one? Zombie, oops, passive ability. Unknown. I'm glad you're gonna get a kick out of this. All right, what does this one say? When the witch doctor, when you have no zombies, the next zombie you summon. Yeah, so when you have no zombies, the next zombie you summon will have plus 20% stats and a crown. Oh. I don't even think zombies have fortitude right now. Do they? What? It's power. No, they don't have fortitude there. And I think summon zombie gives them the stats of the summoner. Yeah, and I don't think the witch doctor has fortitude. So I guess it's really just saying that the first zombie will have 20% more power. Yeah, is that an ability worth getting? Because technically this doesn't have any effect if you summon. So here's how this wouldn't have any effect, or not much. Summon the first zombie and you get the king zombie, right? Summon the second zombie and it's just a regular zombie. We'll represent them with skulls. Then the first zombie dies and now you summon a third zombie and it's just going to be a regular one. Maybe what we could do is if you don't have a zombie leader, the next zombie you summon is a zombie leader. That could work. Well, this way could also work. It's just, I guess one of them is saying that you'll always have one. This does not synergize with other summon skills also. It synergizes with the ones that do damage. So this one, lifesteal, this one, do more poison damage, and poisonous skin, which is deal the poison damage when you get attacked, and taking hits. So it does synergize with other abilities, just not necessarily zombie legion. Actually, it synergizes with that too. Because if you don't have the zombie leader, or you don't have any zombies, and then an enemy dies, you'll get the zombie leader immediately. And I guess the power of bursting horde would even be higher. So it does synergize with all the other skills. I'm not totally sure exactly how I want to do it, but I'll just say idea. It could be that whenever you don't have a crowned zombie, the next zombie to be summoned has a crown. That way you always have, well, you almost always have a leader. And the way I was going to do it was just if you don't have any other zombies. Yeah. Okay, so public const float stat percent bonus. This is going to be plus stat percent bonus. All right. Then in summon zombie, we go modify this. Percent power of summoner, what's that? Oh, 1. Interesting. Okay, so float stat multiplier is 1 plus ECS. Do we have the abilities component here? Wait, do we seriously not? We don't. Wow. All right, let's get it. Abilities component, get level. So this is the summoner. Where is the summoner? Entity, I guess. And then zombie leader stat bonus. And then multiply both stats by that. And that should be that. So let's go make the zombie leader effect. Make this first zombie super powerful. Maybe like 320%. That way we can just see it in action. Oh, wait, no, we didn't do that right. Forgot one last critical thing, which is putting ability ID.zombie leader here. Whoops. Game already started before I could finish typing that. So far, every character is kind of shaping out to be overpowered, which is probably a good thing. It does mean we've got difficult balance times ahead of us, but it also means it'll be fun, I hope. Okay, so start a battle with a witch doctor. They do not have the skill, so the zombie's going to do some baseline amount of damage. 8. Yeah. No, wait, 31. Yeah, 31 damage. So that's what we got to compare against. But we're going to do 320%, so it's going to be roughly 100 damage. Where's zombie leader? Down there. All right, there we go. Which also increases the power of poison. Yeah, it's doing 129. First zombie. I didn't make it be the first zombie. I forgot to test that. Because they don't have crowns, so it's hard to tell. Summon zombie. So we need to know if you already have other zombies. I'll just say get stat multiplier here. Entity. Private. Float. Get stat multiplier. Okay, so do you have zombies? Has other zombies equals false. And then return. I guess if you don't have other zombies. Oh, or if this level is... If this is equal to 0, return. If you have no other zombies, return. I guess in these cases, it's going to return 1. Otherwise, return 1 plus the stat bonus. Make a key press, enable the whole skill table in debug. You mean like give 1 point to every... Oh, I see what you're saying. Just make the rows all clickable. Yeah. Yeah. Alternatively, we could make a debug mode that just always has them all enabled. As in, like, whenever we start up the game, we can access anything. All right, how do we tell if you have other zombies? How do you tell? I guess you check everything that has the zombie curse. Oh, you could check the entities to see if they're a zombie type. Well, let's get the allies first. Allies equals... Oh, we need the battle system. Let's pass it in the same order we did over here. Battle system, battle system. Well, just battle is fine, I guess. All right, get the allies of the entity. And then how do we check if it's a zombie? I don't think we store that information anywhere, do we? Well, maybe let's look at the battle system and see how summoning works. Create by enemy ID. Do we use the enemy ID anywhere? We get enemy data, but we only use it for the stats. So no, we don't. Okay, well, that's fine. The way we can check it is just, does it have a zombie curse? That's how we're doing this. We could use an attribute or something. In this case, we want to check specifically for zombies. So it can't just be, was it a summon? It's, is it a zombie? Because you might have another summoner that summons whatever pixies or something, and you don't want to have the zombie be a leader or not be a leader if there are pixies on your team. Okay, so go through each ally. If is there a does entity have effect? Oh, perfect. Look at that. All right, so if the ally has effect ID dot zombie debuff, then I guess just return 1. And we don't need this here anymore. Okay. Pretty much pizza in 2 separate parts. Yeah. Okay. I think this is pretty good. What is this 1 here for? This should have been a plus. It's a multiplicative identity. That's not going to do anything. All right. I think we're good. How do we test this? We got to make sure that the second zombie's not doing a crazy amount of damage, which is going to be a little bit hard to even see. Actually, don't do that. Do this one, I guess. So that's the first zombie. It's poisoning everything for 34 damage. Well, it's dying so fast there isn't a second zombie. Oh, the way you can get a second zombie then is by doing this. And I guess this would help too. It's going to do a lot of damage. Now let's speed that up. And restart. I'm getting Thai food tonight. Whoa, that did a boatload of damage. Okay, well, it's working. Oh, wow. All right, so that's what? Zombie leader. Now we set it back to what it should be, which is this. We got to give them little crowns, though. It's very important that the zombies have crowns. All right. There's zombie leader, bursting horde. Let's go back to that area. Eating pizza is Friday mandate. Is it a weekly thing for you? I don't think I have 2 zombies. Oh, I never got Zombie Legion. Wait, no, not. No, I did. No, I did not. These use the same icon. Zombie Leader should use something different. Zombie Leader should have crowned skull. Crowned skull. I'm not going to restart this just for that. Although I do need to read the tooltips. But all right, how much damage is this doing? 49 when it dies. We need another zombie to exist. I don't think you created one until the very end. All right, let's wait for this to finish. There, that's good enough. Yeah, I think the odds of this actually reproing is pretty... Oh, there's a second one. Okay, how much is that doing when it dies? 41, 49. Okay, they did do different amounts of damage, and that is 20% apart. So yeah, probably looking good. Yeah, so we're just missing the crown. There's no way for you to tell if this thing worked. Yeah, I think this is okay otherwise. So we coded it for... This goes to the warrior, cleric, paladin, and witch doctor. Only the archer remains. Let's take a look at the tooltips. But then I'm running out of steam and I'm getting pretty hungry. It was a solid day. I didn't get done with everything I wanted to do, but that happens every once in a while, and that's fine. All right, all we're doing is looking at tooltips. So we added this. Whenever an enemy dies, summon a zombie. Note, you must be alive for this effect to work. The reason I think this note is important is because the Witch Doctor is the only character with sort of a layer of abstraction in between what they're doing and what happens. Because they summon zombies and the zombies do stuff. So it might not be obvious, but when you kill an enemy, you're like, why didn't I get a zombie? And it might be because your Witch Doctor is dead. And this is Zombie Leader. When you have no zombies, the next zombie you summon will have plus 20% power and fortitude. And this is your zombies explode when they die, dealing 41 damage to all enemies. Does poison tell you how much it does? It does. Why did I not do that for bite? And how does poison even work that way? Huh. I'll need to write a note for this. Also, make sure poison is taking the stat multiplier into account. Where is that stat multiplier? Stat percent power of summoner. Here it is. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, just quite a lot of stuff that we've done in a week. When we originally, I unfortunately don't have a picture of the old skill tree, I don't think. So I can't show side by side without reverting to an old commit. But anyway, it's in the checkpoint 2 build. I guess I could just launch that. Do I have that? Nope. Let's go get it. Oh wait, maybe it's in the Skeleseller game output folder. Maybe it's this. Let's just run it. See what happens. What does the game look like? Oh, there's no debug mode, so I gotta go through this myself. All right, let's go through all that. There's no debug speed up button. I gotta wait. No other way to do this. It won't take that much longer though, at least. And then we can build that. There we go. Okay, so the whole point of that is that now we unlock the skill tree. Oh, I got stuck. I think I might have fixed that bug since then. Anyway, here was the old skill tree. Let's put that in a GIMP. And here is the new skill tree for the rogue, at least. Let's put that in a GIMP. Is there an easy way to do this? Canvas size, let's make this like 3000 by 3000. Okay, so yeah, here's the other one. So yeah, we have icons now instead of the text. By the way, this is what I was talking about earlier. Earlier, it was very obvious Quick Strike related to these two abilities because they were in the same row. And that's how it works for every adventurer. Now your skills are just sort of strewn about a table. It's going to be less obvious what goes to what. So we got to change the tooltips a little bit. I've had the current one. Do you want me to suffer? If you launch it with debug equals true, does it work even for export? I don't think it's an environment variable. Although maybe it is, in which case that would actually be a problem. I don't know though. We'll have to look into that. Yeah, day and night difference. I think the icons help, but also the other big, there were, I'd say 3 big changes here. One is that we have icons. That's just a visual change. That could have been done even before. 2 is that in the old one, you had 4 choices at any given time and they never changed. In this new one, you start with only 2 choices. Then you have upwards of 5 choices. And then eventually you have upwards of 7 choices. And the third big change is we have more skills. So all of those things are important and they address feedback that I got. And this is why these checkpoints are important, because we wouldn't have gotten that feedback otherwise. And I would just be kind of guessing as to what people want or what they're thinking. In this example, there are 2 sets of icons that are the same. Yeah, I got kind of lazy about picking the icons. There are a couple of cases where that happens and we could have maybe found something better. I'm not super concerned, but it'd be nice to fix. Okay, let's go find someone to raid. I am quite pleased with the progress. I'm smiling because Caleb Hart is streaming cooking right now. I've never seen him cook on stream. Oh, let's raid Zorkenheimer. I don't remember the last time I raided Zorkenheimer, but he helped me with some NES stuff a very long time ago. When I was doing NES dev. I don't even have command for it. That's how long ago it was. Anyway, thank you all for watching. It's been great. We are going to start shifting from skill trees into making customers act like real customers next week. But it's probably going to be a pretty laid back week because my parents are going to be visiting. I haven't seen them in a long time. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day. Here's the Discord link if you want. If someone has not wishlisted the game on Steam yet and wants to, there's a link for that. But otherwise, take care, have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday.